What's up, guys? I'm Ryan with Ryan Epps Fishing, and on today's video we're going to be bringing you part 2 from our trip down to Lake Norman. Now don't forget, at the end of today's video we are going to break down what we caught all these fish on, where we caught them, why we did what we did. We're going to be bringing you all that at the end. So it's going to be a lot of fun today, guys. Y'all sit back, relax. Hope y'all enjoy today's video.
Hey, nobody cross line. How deep is it? More. Got it. Number 10, baby. My hook ain't faster. I guess I got a bite, so I'm tickled. I was worried. Got it. Get out of your way.
Now walk, now walk.
Yeah, watch that grass. Got him. On the drop shot. That's a decent fish.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good. Oh,
I cannot believe he boat flipped that. I saw that going south.
Got it. No. Our smell, ain't it?
Is he mentally stable?
You had a follower, and I was reeling it in and he hit it.
What? Oh, Lord.
I'll get your follower. Really just need a tire underspin on my rod. I agree. I can't operate right now.
You can't not.
I can reel it, but just anything beyond that is just not pretty.
I see it. Got him! I saw him eat it. I saw him eat it. Oh!
Don't count, didn't touch it.
Give that rod back to somebody that deserves it.
Will, can you operate a right-handed?
Sit in the corner down there.
Where's my swim bait? I ain't throwing that stupid underspin. They're hitting it every cast. Under the boat. We need to back up.
Yes, sir. Atta baby. Redemption.
Use that dang right-handed garbage.
Redemption.
Pretty fish there.
Yeah. Hey, hey.
Know that guy right there.
Every cast right there with this little swim bait so far. What about these? That's 3/8.
Yeah, that's over. Not a bad fish. There you go. They are jacked up. Jacked up. They are stacked up right here on this break. I mean, there is a pile of fish down there. And we have been wearing them out. A lot of bait in this little pocket too. But most fish we found right in here have been about that 25-foot range.
We move him. Yeah. Or keep your bait on the bottom if you can't move. That's what you said to him earlier.
Yeah, he has on 10.
There we go. Stay down there. Stay down there. They pull so hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great bite.
I mean, where are you going? Did you get one?
I ain't seen it, but that gummy feels good.
You may get it.
That's a good one.
This pocket is.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey. What a quick bait. Look right. We pulled into a little creek channel here and just started running some secondary points. The deal is with this one right here, we got a lot of suspended fish, but there are a lot of fish setting up off the breaks. And doubled.
Good. Look here.
Oh, it's a stripe. A little Lake Norman hybrid.
Hey, still a double.
So, we got a lot of bait back in here, and we're on this secondary point. We got a lot of fish set up off the break here, going out into about 25 foot of water. A little bit deeper in spots. And we've been throwing swim baits and underspins there. As you come off the break there, we've been getting bit. The bite's been pretty good. So, thinking it's going to get a little bit better as we start to lose a little light. Off that drop. I'm telling you, if you can keep it down there. I mean, look how he choked it.
Yeah, that's what he did now.
Just inhaling it. Yes. Is there one with him?
I ain't seen none. Go ahead up more like that up. hit it. It went limp. It took me a minute to catch up to him.
We gotta try for a big bite right here. Yep.
Gives out on us here, we could always go that point, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, and there was fish on the end of that dock, 26 foot.
They're sitting all across through here.
Right, we can throw across the ditch and hit both sides.
I mean, they were concentrated right here, but
Take us back over where we got all the bites at.
yeah, yeah. Oh, here he is. Got him.
They like that underspin.
Oh, good one, good one. Big bite. Huh?
That a baby.
Huh?
That a baby. Give us a tag.
Yes, sir.
That's a good
Chunky.
one. First cat.
Big, baby. Oh, I like that. Oh, he straight up hammered it, too.
Nope, it was a fish.
It was a fish. Nice. Looks like a decent one too. Ooh, decent. Nice work.
Oh, boy.
Just break the rod.
Yeah, don't worry. Got plenty of room down here.
Where's my beta?
Gosh. Pretty. Got him.
Yeah, you do.
Sorry, I didn't want to hit you.
Yes, sir. Well, going back to my little fella. Hang on back to my little fella for a minute. I mean, they're wising up a little bit.
Well, I mean, saw the ones I brought, these Megabasses. I didn't.
You can get my box if you need to.
I'm gonna try this again and see what happens. This little head, I really can't go with anything with more action than these. But I just, oh baby. That's a nice
Yeah, that's a better one. That's a good fish. I think. Hard to tell. No, that's a good one. Ain't bad. Smashed it.
Better mark this on
Hey.
the map in case you ever come back.
Is that dirt? Is that mud on it? Are they sitting that close?
Yeah, I mean, you're slow rolling. That's probably why I've not been getting bit. You're keeping.
You notice these fish? Look how white they are.
Yeah.
These fish
They
right
just
here,
pulled
they
in.
have pulled up in here.
I think that's why I've not been getting bit. I've not been dragging bottom like Vince have with them.
That fish was about halfway out to the bait. Drag up a little bit.
But the way they're going to the bottom, I wish I had a 3/8 ball head.
You got him. Good one.
Didn't even feel him.
Got him?
Hey, I do have a 3/8 ball head.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Dude, that'd
an
be
owner.
perfect.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's got to be 26, 27.
Gotta be.
Gotta be.
There he is.
Yep, loaded.
On the chartreuse blue back. It took him a minute to load up on that. Look how skinny he is.
That's why he's just eating whatever he can.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, you.
Oh, good one.
Anyway.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Flipping or lifting? Lifting.
Chunky little
I got the secret weapon.
Lake Norman spot.
No, no.
Oh yes. That's a good fish. No, that feels good.
It's all right. He's got those ball heads. That's what we need anyway.
Well, he's fighting already, ain't that? He's that good. Fill out.
It's been a good day.
When you're approaching 50 in your number count, it's been a good day. It's been a good day.
Got him. Oh, I had him again. Mother, what? I'm gonna end up hurting somebody. I was reeling. I wasn't gonna hit you, but I was reeling down like a son of a gun.
You gotta keep reeling before you set the hook. You need to clean up.
Alright guys, so as you can see here, we had to change venues. Fished all the way up till dark there. Caught them pretty much all the way up till dark. And it's kind of hard to do an exit there where you tell people what you caught them on when they can't see what you caught them on. So, packed up, changed venues. We out here today filming a little exit for y'all. So basically what I want to do, starting out here in the whole breakdown of this, is I want to hop over on the Navionics card. I want to take a look at some of the areas that we were fishing, so you can kind of start to get an idea of the locations we were targeting, why we were targeting these areas, and just kind of how this lake set up for us while we were out there. All right, so let's take a look at Lake Norman here. Now, initially, our thought process here is when we were kind of studying up on this lake a little bit, we noticed some power plants, and we kind of wanted to target the one on the lower end of the lake first, because we felt like that's where we would find our little bit cleaner water, and it definitely was cleaner water down there on the lower end of the lake. And the power plant down there was pushing out a little bit warmer water than the one we found up the lake. So we started targeting these areas like this initial big bay here down on the lower end. And kind of the stuff that we were targeting was these little ditches. You can see your basic ditch right here. Now, spotted bass are notorious for hanging out in ditches, especially in the winter. These fish have probably been in this little area for a while here, and then they can just push up shallow into the back of this pocket. But ditches like this, we're holding fish. We caught several fish out of this little ditch right here, up here towards the shallower end, up here around the docks and stuff. So that's one of the places that we were looking, is areas like that. Now, another area that we targeted was your bigger creek arms, pushing on into the back of them. Your bridge pilings, So your basic bridge, this is a bridge in the back of a creek arm. This is one of the bridge pilings, one of the bridges that we fished right here. Chunk rock bank on both sides of it there naturally. Those places right there typically always going to hold fish no matter where you're at or what lake you're on. Bridge pilings are generally always going to hold some fish. So that's another little area. Now, here's your little secondary point pushing back into these creeks right here. Now these little secondary points and stuff are not all going to have fish on them. This one right here did, and I'm not sure. We actually found a brush pile up here pushing up a little shallower. Now I don't know, and we had a spotted bass there actually spit up what looked to be a bluegill, one of the ones that we caught there. So I don't know if there was some bluegill hanging around that brush pile or what the deal was, if that's the reason that those fish were there. But this little deal right here, these little areas, this is another deal that we were targeting. These little secondary points and stuff pushing back into these big creek fingers. For whatever reason, and like I say, I've not targeted spotted bass a lot. It's something I'm doing a little more, but they seem to utilize these creek channels more than I'm used to the fish around here on these lakes at home doing. And I've noticed that on every spotted bass lake that I have fished here recently is how much these spotted bass use these creek channels, regardless of water temp or anything like that. So secondary points, and moving on up the lake a little bit, here's another little creek arm right here. You can see this little deal right here has got a lot going for it. You got a channel swing right here inside this creek arm. It's another great place to look this time of year. You got a ditch right here, and you got an inside point right here on the inside of this turn. Another great place. This is another area like what we were fishing and catching them out of. So ditches, points, creek channels, that's primarily what we were targeting. The name of the game is just, keep looking, keep grinding. We didn't catch a lot of fish until the end of the day. We were catching some fish here and there, but we just kept moving and finally pulled in on a large school of fish there at the end. And, that's the name of the game. So, let's go talk about what we caught them on. We had 3 baits that worked for us throughout the day out there on Lake Norman. And we're primarily going to talk about those 3. Now, the one that I want to start out with was pretty much a staple the entire day that we were out there. And basically what we've got here is just a basic drop shot rig. This was our Finesse approach of choice out there on Lake Norman. Drop shot rig put a lot of fish in the boat for us while we were out there. Let's talk about the bait that I was throwing on my drop shot rig. Now, this was me personally. I know the other guys were throwing some green pumpkin and some more natural colors and stuff. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that one worked better than the other, because we all caught fish, okay? This is what I used. This is what I caught fish on. It's not the only color that caught fish out there by any means, all right? But the bait that I'm throwing on there is a Zoom Finesse worm. That's as basic as it comes right there, all right? The color is smoking blue, all right? Now, this might be a little hard to show you. This is a translucent kind of smoke color. It's got blue, sapphire blue, and black flake in it. Now, I like this color a lot when I'm fishing a drop shot down deep, because that blue really is going to stand out down there, okay? And the natural color of this kind of camos that bait a little bit, so to speak. It's not in-your-face color. It's not a bright color. It's a very natural smoke color, okay? But when you move that bait and that worm starts to, shake around a little bit back there, you start getting those little flashes of blue, and I like that. So it's a way to make this bait stand out but still keep a very natural finesse profile. That's a very good drop shot bait right there. It's cheap, it's affordable. You can find these things everywhere. So, Zoom Finesse worm in smoking blue. That's my drop shot bait of choice. Like I say, the other guys, I don't think they ever had this bait on at any point in the time out there. They caught fish just like I did, all right? So, moving on. Now we're gonna get into the good stuff. So, let's talk about the Finesse swim bait first. Now, going back to what I said earlier about the color of the drop shot worms, I'm not gonna say that the Finesse swim bait I'm getting ready to show you or the underspin, one or the other, outperformed the other bait, okay? Each of those baits kind of came on hot and cold. You know, we stayed there quite a while, and there would be a span of 45 minutes there that the underspin would absolutely hammer them. Then the underspin will go a little cold, and then you'd start seeing Jesse pick them off on the Finesse swim bait. One didn't really work better than the other, but both of them worked extremely well. Now, the swim bait that we were throwing there, primarily what you saw him catch the majority of his fish on was a Megabass spark shad, all right? And the head that he's throwing that on is just your basic ball head right there, all right? It's got a 90-degree line tie. It's a 3/8 ounce ball head with a light wire hook in it. Now, this ball head right here is made by Cumberland lures, and it works really great on this spark shad, your little small swim baits, your Keitech easy shiners, your standard Keitech swing impacts, not the fat version, but just your basic swing impacts. Those are the types of swim baits that I'm going to throw this little ball head on right there. And this hook was a little bit small for this spark shad, but we still were able to make it work. And basically what we were doing with this technique and with the underspin is we were throwing it up on top of that point up there in the shallow water, and we were slowly creeping that bait down off the break and down through that ditch. So you were covering a lot of area right there that's holding fish. You had fish sitting on the break, you had suspended fish, and you had fish glued to the bottom of that ditch down there with their bellies on the bottom. Covered a lot of water doing that, and you were able to catch a lot of fish doing that. Now, let's talk about primarily what I was using in that area to put fish in the boat as well. Now, basically, while he was throwing the little Finesse swim bait, I was throwing a Finesse swim bait too, with the exception that I threw mine primarily on an underspin. All right? Now, my swim bait of choice that day was a Keitech Easy Shiner. All right? And this isn't the color I was throwing, but just your standard Keitech Easy Shiner. All right? That's a 4-inch model right there. That's the size that I was using. Now, that Keitech Easy Shiner, I paired that up with a 1/2 ounce fish head underspin. That put the majority of my fish in the boat on that last spot. Now, I did throw a few other underspins. Another option for you, and this put fish in the boat for me as well. I didn't catch as many on this as the fish head with the Easy Shiner. It never fails. We don't do exits on this channel that don't get interrupted. They're fixing to let some water out of the dam there. We might get this exit done here before we get a little water on us. So, I'm gonna speed things up a little bit. The next underspin, I wish that thing would shut up. All right, the next underspin that I used out there on Lake Norman, this is a Berkeley underspin right there. This is another good option. Now, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, this is a very affordable, good underspin head. I've caught a lot of fish on it. And if I have one complaint about it, for whatever reason, I've had 2 of them now, that the blade has just come off, all right? I don't know if that's just bad rings right here. These split rings are coming open just a little bit, but I do have 2 of them at the house that the blades have come off. But be that as it may, it's a fish catcher. I use them, and they work for me. Now, what I was throwing on the back of this Berkeley Underspin was just a Zoom Fluke Junior. All right, just a little split tail fluke. I like the junior size on there. Works well with that size underspin head, and that's just going to take a little bit of action out of it. You're taking a little bit of thump out that you get with that Keitech Easy Shiner. Sometimes that can be the deal. Now, on Norman, they seem to prefer that little bit of more thump. Water wasn't stained, had a little bit of color to it. So that would make sense that they wanted that little bit more thump with the Easy Shiner. But also caught fish on this bait right here. And this is another presentation to keep in mind out there targeting these spotted bass. Now, last underspin I want to talk to you about, a hog farmer war pig. All right, that's another great underspin. I'm out of them, totally out of them. I left a pile of them back there at Norman. You lose a lot of baits when you're slow rolling them and creeping them on the bottom like that with an exposed hook. That's just the nature of the game. So when am I going to pick up that hog farmer underspin? When I want to put a little bigger swim bait on there, like this Keitech Swing Impact Fat. All right. I trim that head down a little bit, and that flatter head on the war pig lets me trim that down and butt that swim bait right up against that head. That's another great presentation right there. And that Swing Impact Fat works really well on that hog farmer underspin. On that underspin, I'm throwing the 4.3 inch Keitech. I'm throwing the 3.8s in that range right there. And you're going to get a little more thump out of this bait right here. A little bit more aggressive. And sometimes that can pay off. I actually was able to put a few more fish in the boat, and I think one of my better fish actually came on that hog farmer. The colors that I was throwing in that Impact Fat, I'm throwing that electric shad on that one right there too. And I also caught a couple fish on the chartreuse blueback. You know, sometimes you just got to throw something in there different at them. Sometimes, you know, especially if there's a lot of bait in the area, and there was quite a bit of bait in that little ditch and that secondary point area that we were targeting. Sometimes showing them something a little bit different can pay off, and I was able to put a couple more fish in the boat by going to that color right there. So, really enjoyed it out there on Lake Norman. I will be going back in the future. I can guarantee you that. And let me tell you something. Spotted bass have kind of got me hooked. That is a little bit, they remind me a lot of smallmouth. But they are a good time. I'll tell you that right now. And I got some other spotted bass lakes here kind of close to me. So hopefully we're going to be getting down into those lakes over the year here, getting y'all some more spotted bass videos. I'm hooked. I'll tell you that right now. Spotted bass have got me hook, line, and sinker. So looking forward to doing that, making some more videos, doing this kind of stuff right here for y'all throughout the year, targeting some more spotted bass lakes and herring lakes, blueback herring lakes. That's another whole different dynamic that I'm not used to, that we're going to kind of play around with over the year here, and see if we can learn more about and put the pattern together a little bit. So that's all I got for y'all today, guys. If you like the videos, make sure you go hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. That's going to let you all know when I put out all my new videos. If you got any questions or comments, feel free to leave those in the comment section down below. I will get back to y'all with any answers I can give you. Until next time, y'all make some time, get out there on the water and catch you a few. I'm Ryan Epps. Y'all have a good one.